Hey, I think I'm live. Hey. Hello and welcome to a long-awaited live feed. I do apologise, but my life has just been very, very hectic as of late. Job, family. We actually just put a reservation on a house as well, so we're going to be moving in the next year. So yeah, it's just kind of all come out of the blue. Well, I say blue, it hasn't, but I wasn't expecting it. So for the last 4 weeks, I just haven't had time. And amongst obviously modern stuff as well, because I've still been trying to keep that up to keep my customers happy. And yeah, here I am. So this is the first live feed I've had. I've got it in 4 weeks now. It's got to be 4 weeks, and I do apologise, like I say, but it's just been hectic, and I mean hectic. But hopefully we'll have an hour or two just general chit chat. The other thing is I've run out of ales, so I've actually had to break open a tinny, which is a Coors Light, which I picked up by mistake. It was meant to be San Miguel, and I just picked it up because it was the coldest thing in the fridge they had. Yeah, it's all right. It's palatable, put it that way. So anyway, yes, been quite busy few weeks, and I've also got a few new watch purchases as well. A few of them you might think I'm a bit daft for doing. I will go through. One of them, which I don't want to say is a disappointment, but wasn't what I was expecting, is the Zelos Horizon V2 I got. And I actually, this is the meteorite version. There's only 50 of them actually made. And I got this, and I actually waited on the day they sold out within half hour. And I got it on Friday, and in all honesty, I wasn't blown away. And I want to love this watch so much because, like I say, when I put it on and actually put my money down on it, I thought I'm going to like that watch. But there's just the one thing that gets me about this is the dial is just not what I expected. Yes, it's a blue meteorite dial. It's PVD coated meteorite, basically give it the blue colour. But majority of lights, 90% of the time, it looks like a gloss black dial, and it looks like a very bland watch, which is something I didn't actually want. And when I compare it to my Horizons Aventurine, which I've got, yeah, I will get into a bit of a debate further on in the video about said watch, because I've even kept the stickers on because I don't think I'm actually going to keep it for that long. But like I say, I will get into debate with that later on. I've also gone, and I said I wouldn't do this after my last video. Yeah, I picked up another Calvin Klein from Jummer Shop. Yes, that was a daft thing to do. Also, by the way, when I'm doing these live chats, please just feel free to chat in the comments amongst each other, and also chat to me, like I say, because I'm more than happy. That's what this is all about, just to kind of lighten up, have a bit of a chat and general Q&A, or even random stuff. Like I say, most of the times I get into my bikes and things halfway through the video with people as well. But please say hi, and also if you do like this live feed, please like as well. Alexander, hello. I'm going to answer you first because you're the first one to come. I suppose they quoted it, what's the point of it being meteorite? Well, to be honest, it is a bit of a question because I didn't actually know how the process did it, because in all honesty, meteorite, to get the actual crystallized pattern out, has to go through a process anyway. I think it gets I forgot what it is, gets acid etched. So it's not actually in its natural, I'll say natural form. The actual crystallized pattern doesn't come out until you actually go through a number of processes. So having a blue meteorite dial, to be honest, is just adding another process onto that. Now, I've actually got two, and the reason why I went with the Horizons blue meteorite is actually I've got a swordfish blue meteorite, and the dial on this, even in this light, looks amazing. The actual crystalline structure of it is spot on. It's got a name to it, and I just keep forgetting to it. If anybody knows the name that actually is for the meteorite patterns, please put it on. I think it's with an M. Or W, it's a W, I think. But I bought it based on the fact of I was going to get a dial that looked very similar to this, but it just doesn't pop unless you're looking in direct light. The Horizons 2 just doesn't do it for me, and it's such a great watch. In all honesty, I think Elshin has tried his best to actually make a watch that improves on something that, to be honest, was close to perfect anyways in the Horizons 1. It just fits perfectly. Everything is perfect about this watch, and I think he's gone about and tried to make it better when, to be honest, it never really did need it. This is a great watch. Don't get me wrong, it is good, but it's just one of them things. I will, like I say, get into a debate on that later on in the video. So anyway, let's have a look. Dave, evening, pal. Not hard to work tonight. So you got me. Well, to be honest, for the last 4 weeks, that's where I've been. Hence why there hasn't been any live feeds. been working on the back of a ship for like 2 weeks, trying to get some system to work. Just a bit of background, I'm a subsea hydraulics engineer, so a lot of vehicles that go down, mainly trenching cables for internet and stuff across countries under the seabed. And we were trying to put a bit of kit on a ship that took 2 weeks to do, and then they managed to break it within 10 minutes after we finished. So that's coming back in August to haunt me again. But here, it's interesting work. Anyway, let's have a look. So you got, hope Dave stick around, like I say, and like I say, thanks for joining us. It's much appreciated. Like I say, have a general chit chat and just also excuse the hair. It looks a bit mad because I haven't had it cut in 10 weeks because of the whole lockdown thing. Shaving wise, it's just me being lazy because I can shave. But it's starting to relax now, so I might be getting back to normal. However, the pictures from Brighton Beach and stuff, I think it was Brighton, somewhere down south, where you've got 500,000 people on the beach. Darwin's Law hopefully will kick in for some people because it's beggars belief for me. I just don't know why. But anyway, like I say, please just talk in the comments, and like I say, just crack on and have a general chat. If you've got any questions for us, please just ask. The other watch that I've got, like I say, I've got my Horizons, I've got my Calvin Klein, which I will get onto the reason why I got this again from Jummer Shop, because I had such a hassle last time. I'm getting reimbursed for that one, by the way. I went through PayPal in the end. I started to pay postage back, which was like 18 quid, so I've lost out on that. But there's a reason why I've got that one. And this one here, which is yet again, and I know people are getting sick. I've had a few mails through going, why are the heck are you reviewing harnesses so much? But in all honesty, like I say, I've got a day job. I've got a lot of outgoings, ingoings. I cannot spend money on expensive watches all the time. It's just one of those things where a harness costs us normally 70, 80 quid. I can get them in, I can review them. And to be honest, the quality of them isn't too bad. And I use them as beta watches, and it gives us quite a nice selection. Don't get me wrong, if I saved up, I would be able to get something a bit more, 500 quid's worth of watch. But then I'd be waiting 3-4 months before I could actually do a review on it, because I don't actually get given that many watches to review off, companies and stuff. However, I do have a Germain coming in, which actually hasn't been released yet, to review off the back of my Germain Z series video. Got in contact with us and said, do you want to review this watch? It's a bit interesting. I said, by all means, please give us the review, and I will be more than happy to have a look at it. But I will get into this watch later on as well. It's quite an interesting one because it's also got that same movement that the Baudry had. I've forgotten what the caliber number is, but it's a Chinese copy of type of Swiss movement, 3 days power reserve, high beat as well, and I picked that up for 90 quid. Can't go wrong, but there was a few issues with that one, which I'm a bit discouraged about. But anyway, let's get back onto the comments. Celine Driver, hello again. You're going to tell you, because no doubt you haven't seen my Horizons 2 rant at the beginning of the video, you're going to tell me I told you so. Later on, I will get into why. Deep Sea Engineer, that'll be a dive watch credential sorter then. So CK watch, I thought that was label. Yeah, it is. It's Calvin Klein, but there's a reason why I've got it. I will get into that. And yes, I don't get me wrong, I don't go subsea. I'm more designing the kit. Like I say, I'm hydraulics, so I design the kit, which then gets built, and then I normally also install it, help out, and after sales as well. Quite like £1 million worth of kit. It's great. It's like big boys' toys at the end of the day. They do, it's quite amazing. But yeah, so yeah, that's just been keeping my life busy along with all the rest of the stuff. But yeah, if you ever want to have a look at things like that, just type in SMD on YouTube and it comes with all the stuff. That's the company I work for. Just get that. But anyway, you can see the vehicles we do. I'm just a very small part of a big company, but I'm only out of the 210 people, I'm only the 4th hydraulic engineer there, so I am run off my feet normally. The only one in services as well. Let's have a look here. My hair is so long, I'm looking like 1970s porn star. Well, once upon a time, if you look back at some of the other videos, I did actually have a ponytail, and I had that for 10 years until I thought, I'm a dad now, I need to cut it off because my hair just looked unruly. It's getting close to that now. But I did have a ponytail just to go through that phase, and it saved me a ton on hairdressing bills. It was great. Evening, Mr. Zelos. Yes, Ms. Celine Driver is here, and like I say, I'm going to have not a rant about Zelos. I'm not. I'm just, like I say, the Horizons 2 hasn't met my, I'm not going to say met my expectations. I think the expectations were too high to begin here. But yeah, you're just, do you know what? This is the thing. Once the Thrasher has come out, and I've just seen Sling Drivers comment on that, and it looks like a good watch. And to be honest, it's a very aeronautical because that's what it is. And I regret buying the Horizon 2 now I've seen it. But I might as well start this rant now. Let's start this rant now. But basically, what it is. I'll answer some of the comments first before I start the rant because no doubt it won't stop. You order yourself a Thrasher? No, but like I say, if I can flip this one quite quickly, I might order one. The one in blue looks absolutely phenomenal. Let's have a look. Huge fan of the Chinese homage at the moment, especially given the Seiko 5 isn't an SKX. But no, don't get me started on Seiko 5s. They're horrendous. Basically, Seiko 5s is Seiko trying to get into the modern realm. They've basically went, oh, look, people buy modded watches. So they basically just littered the market with these sport watches that basically modders do. However, ironically, since they've done that, the modern community's actually gone up because it's given us more bases to work on. So, let them do their thing, like I say. But yes, you do not get what you pay for with the Seiko 5s no more by any means, or any Seikos. Seiko is really paying me off at the moment because I am a Seiko fanboy, or was. However, they're just not what they used to be price-wise. They used to be a nice, cheap, affordable watch, and you got a decent quality watch. Now they're still decent quality with few QC issues, don't get me wrong, but they're not what they were by no means. I will get onto that rant as well, actually. Might as well. I've just recently got into modern, hence subscribe to your channel, been using the Shark. Sharky's good base, don't get me wrong. They're going back with the old style SKX, I've been told, because they changed the design, which meant they weren't moddable from the old ones. But I've been told by Helm Dollar they are actually changing the design back to the old style, so you can actually mod everything on them again. Because I think they've now thought, oh wait, this is a sales market. If we sell watches, people can mod cheaply. It's a good base, isn't it? But hey ho, my hair's that long. I plaited it into my arse. Do you know that joke I've used before? Like a hair mankini, a natural mankini. Do not think of that. Grummy beard down there. Go to yes. Don't think of that. Oh god, it's all right. This is what this conversation's about. Like I say, it just goes flow. This is like general work conversation for me. But hey ho, yes, I am. Don't worry. I own 5 SKX watches, and they don't impress me enough to buy one. No, like I say, they're just jumping on the bandwagon. I think they're trying to get into the modern kind of thing. Like people, buy a pre-modded watch. That's what the whole philosophy is. However, like I say, I'm modern-wise. I've got 2 watches actually getting done tonight, and I was meant to get them out by the beginning of next week. However, I've got a broken nail there. I know I sound like a right. How do I politically put this now? Because I'll get scolded. However, I say I sound like a right what? I sound like a right indefined person that I broke my crystal press again. I broke my first one 2 months ago, and this one actually, I was pushing it down as you do to set the crystal, snapped the handle, it crushed my finger, snapping my nail, and it also made the crystal go wonky, which then meant I buggered a seal. So I've actually looking at a professional old 1950s crystal press. My philosophy is if a tool has lasted longer than I have been on this earth, it's going to last a lot longer, so it's not going to fail on me. Always buy old tools that have been used longer than you, because they will keep up like that. Unless you're 100 years old and you're getting like steam drills, which I don't think was a thing. Somewhere there'll be a steam drill, but hey ho. Let's have a look. Comments. Stop that. That was the Mankini stuff. That image I don't no. The old style Seiko 5s were 60 decent. Yes, that's the thing. Old style like the baby monsters and things like that. I've got them and I love them because they were a decent price point and they were good value for money. But now they're just jumping on the bandwagon of hip kids. If you see the advertising on Seiko's site, it is literally just trying to appease young people who don't understand watches anyway. A bit like Calvin Klein trying to make, this watch I've got in this box here, which I will get into in a second, trying to get into their hipster young market with a 750 quid watch that's Swiss made with an ETA movement. It's just not going to sell. Hence why I've got one for $99 or 80 quid. I need to get another one because these movements go for 200 quid. I've got ideas for that anyway. Let's have a look here. I've got Turtle Homage and a 55 coming. Have to cut myself off for a bit. Have all bits from Knuckle Mods. First podcast. Yeah, to be honest, like I say, you just get into it. But like I say, you throw yourself into it, you will make mistakes when you first do modern. I did. I spent a good 6 months buggering things up, and that's honest, and spent a lot of money buggering things up. But when you get to the point where you do things and you just get used to them, like say I can mod a watch in 3 hours. That's basically where I've got to, decently, by the way, with protection and all that. But you just get used to it. Like I say, practice makes perfect at the end of the day, and you just get used to it. Let's have a look here. Sling Driver, if I want a pre-modded SKX, I'll buy one from Long Island Watches. That's another good one to be. I've never had a Long Island watch, to be honest. I want to get my hands on one because I'm curious to the build. I want to, because there's that many SKX style cases out here. I think they come from the same kind of route. I need to have a look at one. I need to get my hands on a Islander watch, but when I mod my own watches, I feel a bit kind of, what's the word, reluctant to buy a pre-modded watch when I mod them myself. So yeah, I might get one to them mod. That might be the other way around it, but hey ho. But he seems like a good bloke. I don't know, Long Island Watches. He's found a gap in the market and he's took it, and good on him. Like I say, that's what you need. Let's have a look here, Dave. Sorry, Alexander Murphy. Saw someone say screw down crystal press is better. Bought a cheap £5 one though. Well, that's the one I'm looking at this moment in time, which I'm hoping I'm going to get tomorrow, is a 1950 screw down press. It's like a hefty thing. It's like that big with all the dies and stuff. So I'm hoping that's going to be the thing that'll help. This one's just over time. The aluminium handle's just bent, and then tonight it just snapped, and I hurt myself quite bad. My fingers throbbing like anything now. But hey ho, you learn. I wasn't going to spend the money, and it's cost me. Well, it's at least cost me £15 for a new seal anyway, but hey ho, live and learn. Slade Driver, is it okay, Dave? I try to keep an open mind on most things. Well, to be honest, that's what I do as well. Open mind is the best way to be in this world, especially this day and age. You need to be. Like I say, if you are liking this feed, please press that like button. It does help me up quite a lot with YouTube's algorithms. I was going to say poor algorithms, but they're not. They're just algorithms. Marcus B, evening lads, hello. Nice for you to join the, I was going to say party. Well, I've got beer. I could say it's a party, but it's just a general chat with very nice, like-minded people, which normally will go tangents left, right, and centre. I do warn people for that. And also, if you do hear a lot of rain on the roof, we're going through a bit of a thunderstorm stage here in the northeast, and it literally comes in 10-minute waves, and it's just like, and then it goes. So if you do get drowned out, if I do get drowned out by rain, that is why. It's not because your mic's a bit, or my mic's a bit poor, but hey ho. Let's have a look here. Sling Driver, I've done quite a bit of business with Long Island Watches. He's a great guy, makes great watch now. Helped me get a hold of the marathon. Israel Special Forces watch when nobody else could. Well, I'd say that's what you need. Contacts and this kind of thing is what you need, especially with some watches. Now, I've got a few, especially for Seiko dials. In modern community, trying to get your hands on decent Seiko dials is a bit of an issue. But if you know the people to go to, that's where you go and get stuff. Pretty soon, I modded my press with a stainless steel handle. See, I could do that, but the problem with my press, and this is the thing, the actual base is starting to come away, so it doesn't fully seat them square. So you have to rotate the case around during your pressing to make sure the crystal sits square. It's a bit of a pain in the backside, hence why I'm just going to go and spend the money on something that is actually decent quality. However, I looked on Cousins UK and some of them are like £350, which is basically all they are, is just a screw with a pile of dies on the bottom with two retainers, and you're sitting there, £350. It's a simple, to be honest, if I had the equipment, I could make one quite easily. I need a lathe and a milling machine, and I'll be happy when I get my garage in my new house, I want a mini lathe and a mini milling machine, and that could just open up piles of possibilities with the bikes, the watches, everything, because I am quite good at turning metal and machining metal. It was what I used to do when I was back in like uni days and stuff. Just spent hours in the workshops doing weird and wonderful things with metal. It was great. But anyway, quickly go through this. Bloody YouTube didn't notify me. Don't. You're here now. It's fine. I've got to admit the white faced Islander and the blue sapphire bezel is inspired. Do you know what? Out of the Islanders, I like the baby blue one for some reason. Don't know why, but that's the one I would go for. G Rain in the UK. Who would have thought? Yeah. Do you know what? During lockdown, it's been the driest spell we've had in the UK and the hottest. Now lockdown is starting to ease. somebody is being highly amused by this. I'm not saying of higher powers or anything like this, but somebody's watching and laughing at us at the moment. That's my theory anyway. Because like I say, I'm just open and honest with you. Like I say, I don't believe in anything. Don't everybody's got what's the word without it. So, but I'm open-minded, put it that way. So, I like to be proved. I like people to say things and kind of go, right, this is why I do this is why I do that, and everything. I won't get into that. It's not that type of video. But let's have a look here. I like one picked up. Let's have a look there. I like the one I picked up, the blue one with the blue bezel, then modded it with an orange bezel insert. Do you know what? You can't get away. Do you know what? Anybody who's into motorsport, duck egg blue and orange. Gulf colours for GE40. That's if I ever got the money, even if I needed to do a replica car, if I was going to make one, the original Mark 1 GE40 in Gulf racing colours, that's what I have. Quick tangent off the watches, but I just saw the baby blue and orange, or the blue and orange, and that just went Gulf colour scheme. That's where I'm at. I could do a watch about that, actually. I could actually make a Gulf colour scheme watch. I'm sure somebody does a dial for, I think Yoki Doki do a dial, which is in the Gulf colour scheme. But here, yet again, another tangent. I made a review video of the watch. Please check it out if you wish. Yes, if you haven't met Celine Driver or watched any of his videos, please go over. He does a spectacular load of videos and does them to a very good standard in my mind. Very down-to-earth reviews, like myself, if I was going to say that. Me down to earth, I'm more crazy. Hey-ho. Yes, I made a video reviewing that one. Check it out if you wish. Just read that. I'm wearing the hell out of that watch. It's a big, but I love it. Well, yeah. See, I like big watches, but the problem is I've got very small wrists. I've still got both my Horizons in my hand, as you can see there. One's upside down, I've just realised. I've got both my Horizons in my hand there. But I do like big watches, but having small wrists, it's trying to get a watch, small lug to lug, big watch, like the Hammerhead 2 from Zelos. That's a good one. But here, let's have a look here. Let's saw a video of the Marathon Good Stuff Celine Driver. I saw that video, it was quite good. Big watch though, too big for me. Far too big for me. Get a better grip on the beer, down lad. Cools light, enjoy. Oh. Do you know what? I picked that up by mistake. It was meant to be San Miguel, and I picked it up randomly. I thought I picked up San Miguel, but yes, Coors Light is what it has to be. The most refreshing beer in the world, supposedly. I really want an ale. I want a strong 6% ale at this moment in time. I've had 3 of these cans and they're not doing anything for me. Or me gut, actually. They're not doing anything for me gut either. Enjoy your vids and follow your Hydro Mod one. Fair play, lad. You're better than the time teller. Oh. I can't. Do you know what? I can't comment, and I don't. I make it the point to not comment on other reviewers because everybody does it in their own way. I just wished I could be in the position where people would kind of, and to be honest, a lot of other watch reviewers or just general people on YouTube would say this. When you're in a position where you don't have the money and the expense to put into actually getting watches to review, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because when you get good at YouTube and you start to get the prices up, people give you stuff for free. However, when you're down at the low end of YouTube, you have to buy to get up there. It's kind of like investment. It's a gamble. And like I say, that's why I've been getting Pagani design watches at this moment in time, because I just don't have, well, the reason I don't have the money is because of this thing. I want to love it. I just keep saying thing because it has upset me, actually. It's upset me, but here, I'll get into that in a sec. I'm reading the comments. I'm not going on to the rant, but I'm going to read all comments, because if I go on to the rant, I won't read the comments, and it'll take us half an hour to catch up. Let's have a look. Celine Driver Laura. I love the Gulf Racing colour scheme. I have a Comet chronograph in that colourway. It was a prototype watch for a field Kickstarter company, and I was looking. To be honest, that sounds like a nice watch. Do you have a video of that one? I'll watch that one. That's a watch I would have. Gulf's colour scheme chronograph. That is the watch I would have. And thank you for that compliment, Kyle. No problem, anytime. You do, like I say, you're one of me. Out of the whole YouTube lot, you're one of the reviewers I come to regularly, because I do like your videos for the down-to-earth style. Nothing over the top, nothing off, it's just watch. That's the review, me honest opinion. Like the way I do it. That's the way I want to see a watch review. None of these kind of going backwards and forwards between fancy shots and gloved hands. One thing that really does, and people have gone at us for this, people who review watches with gloves. If it's your watch, if it's somebody else's watch and expensive, fair dues. But if it's your own watch that you've bought or whatever, and you've been wearing it on a wrist, sweaty and all that, Why wear gloves? I just keep a polishing rag. I just polish it through the video, and that's what I do. I just couldn't be arsed with a pair of, cotton gloves. Ooh. God, I'm not digging at people here by any means. I just, some things kind of niggle me, and that's one of them. Let's have a look here. Sorry, Celine Driver, Noah is next to M, and I have got my glasses. It's one of those days. I've just got fat fingers at the moment. I've been eating that much very poor quality food, and my fingers are all swollen. That's why, if there's a misspelling anyway, it's because I've got fat fingers at the moment. I do have a video of it. It is a chronograph too. I'll have to have a look at it. I will search that up. Please watch it and let me know what you think. Search for the comic. I will do. After this, I will do. Now I've caught up the Zelos rant, yes. So basically what it is, and I will be doing a video of this, I have started recording it, but basically I've got both Horizons now. I've got the one, which is the Aventry with the nice sparkly dial, absolutely amazing watch, 100 in existence. I've also got the Zelos Horizon V2, this one being the blue meteorite version, which there's only actually 50 of these in the world, and they're sold out within half an hour. Got it. But the one thing that now this camera does not give it justice, but you can see there, you can see the crystalline structure of the meteorite dial. The horizon, though, just doesn't show unless you're in direct sunlight or direct light going to the dial. The actual pattern of the meteorite doesn't show through, and most of the time it looks like gloss black. And the thing is, when I buy a Zelos watch, like I say, that meteorite, my Mako V3, even my hammerhead down there, and the Aventry, they've got very, I'm not going to say in-your-face dials, but you look at them and you go, oh, those are pretty. This one just doesn't do that. There's just, for some reason, it's, the meteorite seems dumbed down. It's like, the way I could explain it is as if you've got something that's kind of, you've got something with detail on, and you've given it too many coats of paint, and it kind of blends it all in, and it makes the detail look a bit kind of smoother. It washes the detail out, and this is what this dial looks to have happened. I don't know if it's the coating process for the PVD, coating on the meteorite, I don't know. But the other thing is the coating is slightly darker than my swordfish, by ever so slightly, but makes the dial just so hard to see the pattern, and that's what's disappointed about us. And this was the second most expensive watch of the Horizons 2. Now, Elshin is an amazing watch designer. His design, like I say, the Thrasher that's come out is an amazing watch. And to be honest, if I wasn't going for this, I would have gone for that, and I would have bought that yesterday. Easy. But the problem is I bought this and I invested money in it. And I think what Elshin has done, and to be honest, good on him for trying, and I'm not going to say it was a bad thing to do. I think he's tried to improve on something that didn't need improving on, because the original Horizons 2 is an absolutely amazing watch. And what the whole aspect of the second one was to make it look more vintage and kind of, and I'm not going to say dumb it down a bit, but some of the design things that kind of went out of it kind of was disappointing. Like on the V1, the chapter rings actually got cutouts for the markers, and I love that type of thing. It's very Seiko Monsterish. They've got rid of that for the V2. And the other thing is having the actual top hat crystal on means you can't see the chapter ring with the second time zone on unless you angle it, whereas with the V1 you can see it straight off the bat. And I think it was just an attempt trying to make the watch better when it didn't need to be. And well, honestly, this watch, I would dare say in a week after I've done my full review of it, is going to get put up, because I've got literally most of the stickers are still on this watch, because when I got out of the box I thought, for how much money I've gone into it and how I feel about it, I just can't keep it. I don't know, especially when there's a lot more Zeloses coming in the future. There's the 40mm swordfish, there's also the titanium swordfish, and like I say, the Thrasher. And if the meteorite Thrasher is still about when I sell that and get the money for it, I will get that. That's what I'm going to do. But yeah, I kind of was a bit deflated when it came through. I was literally, I stayed in on Friday and kind of waited for this watch to come through the door. But it just literally looks like a gloss black dial with, the loom's good, by the way. It's got like a 2-transition loom. Like on the bottom, you've got a full loom, and on the top, just the actual numerals on the bezel. The thing is, though, you can't, in the dark, you just can't see it because it's that fine. So really, I'm not going to say pointless between the two colours here. is actually two-tone, so you've got like glow one side and a blacked out number the other. The attention to detail is second to none. And don't get me wrong, I'm not putting people off buying a V2, but it is not the watch I thought it was going to be. It's just because I've got the V1, and I think I've already kind of put the V1 up there. This had to be something else, and I think it just couldn't. I just yeah, so this is basically saying in as new condition, and I'm going to flip it, and that's honesty, and I'm quite sad to say that, because I fancy another blue meteorite after this. So I'm going to, like I say, I will do an in-depth video which will explain all this, but let's get on to the conversations that we're going on about. No worries, I have big fingers. What you're saying, yeah. The thing is, two is a better design, just with me, that's it. And that's it. That's it done. And then you'll slightly improve on them. Like the Hammerhead 1 to the Hammerhead 2. I think the Hammerhead 2 is a better design, just with me. There was refined on a design that was already good, and he did a good job at it. But the problem is, you get to the point where you make a watch that good, you just can't improve it. And that was the Horizon and Man. It's just when you're in lockdown, you just that's what it is. It's there. It's easy to get a hold of. It's nice to have. With their sec. Problem is with Coors Light, it's very fizzy. And that's the only thing. Add size of the house of the or something. Share on the horizon. I'm sure you'll sell it easy if they don't see this feed. Well, like I say, it is annoying. Like I say, it's just one of those things. I don't know. I might like to say with the other thing with Meteorite, it's a gamble because every pattern is different. And this one just seems to have a lot of flat on it. I don't know why. Left hand side of the face has got the pattern. The right hand just is flat mostly. I'm not going to say cheated because I can't. It is the way it is. But compared to my swordfish, which I was kind of putting on it being, it just isn't. And yeah, but I'll get off that. Like I say, it's me personally. It's not the watch. It's me. But hey, maybe Elshin could reface it. Yeah, maybe actually. So Sling Driver, you do bring up a good point. And I've talked to Elshin a few times, and he will bend over backwards for his customers. But I don't think, in my mind, it should be something that he should do just because I dislike that particular dial. It shouldn't have to be the fact of me going to him going, look, I don't particularly like that dial. Could you reface it for us, please? It's not right for me to do that in my mind. It doesn't feel right because the watch in itself is good and somebody will get that and think that's an absolutely amazing watch. I personally think it's just because I've got the Horizons 1 why I actually pass it on. And sorry, I've got a very itchy nose. My hay fever is playing up like nobody's business at this moment in time. Anyway, yes, buffering. The police feed gets bad. Obviously, I can just see a live feed of myself. So I'm like speaking to myself. It's a very disconcerting thing because I'm not a lucky dad. I look at myself and I'm sitting there going, God, who would look at that through a full video feed? Hey, I don't know why the wife married us to begin with, but hey, I must have something going for us. I wish I had the money to grab it from you, Kyle. I just don't. The video I'm dropping on Monday will give you the reason why. No, in all honesty, the way these sold, I don't have any worry about getting my money back. And to be honest, the way I would sell that is I would sell it at the price I got it plus the taxes and stuff I got paid for. So basically, it hasn't cost me anything, if that makes sense. And if I can sell it in the UK as well, that'd be handy because I can't actually insure anything over 250 quid outside of Europe. It's a bit of an irritating thing. I have to spend a lot of money to actually get that going. Anyway, we have to go now. Oh, thanks for sticking around, Alexander. I just saw that down there. So like I say, thanks. Please, like I say, if you've liked this video, please like. It was much appreciated you coming along and joining in with the chat. Anyway, let's go back. So you didn't want to not say bye if somebody's leaving. That's very impolite of me. Yes, Buffin, I wish I had the money. Yeah, well, like I say, it is a good watch and somebody will like it, but it's just not for me. And problem is I bought it. I had to buy it. It was something I had to do. I think the storm is buggering connection, mate. It is a bit, like I say, it might be me because there is a lot of thunderstorms in the area at this moment in time. So it could be the fact of even my wireless from this computer there could be the issue. But anyway, getting on to watch number 2 that I got. The Calvin Klein. Now, if you haven't already watched the video, I had a big fanny on with Calvin Klein and Joma Shop because I bought one of these originally and it came in broke. There was actually a movement holder screw and a movement tab floating around in the case. And I had a right faff trying to get back the Jommer shop, and when I originally got back, they said you have to pay for fully insured post, and we will not pay back the post we sent it to you. Which I thought, no, you've sent me a broken watch, you have to reimburse me. And I got onto PayPal, and they said, no, you're as a consumer, you have the full right to actually get your money back in full. The only thing we can't compensate you for is you sending the charge for you sending it back. So I've lost 18 quid. The other thing I have to do, and I still have to do once it goes through, is pay this custom charge or get it reimbursed for the watch, because it cost me 30 quid to get it in the country. So that's something, or with a £32.65. So that's something I still have to do, but I need proof it's gone back and I've got the refund before I can get this. And then it's going to be another 3 weeks, 4 weeks before I get Her Majesty's blooming tax service, aka the robbing bees, to give us that money back, because they're very reluctant to do stuff like that. If you've given them money, they do it like that, taking it off you, but try and get it back. Yep, that takes months. Anyway, so Jommer Shop over the Father's Day kind of weekend had a sale, and I got another one. This one, however, is fully working, ETA 2836 movement in the back, and no issues there. $99 I paid for this. $99. And this is the thing, I went on and thought, I cannot let a watch that's got that ETA movement in go. Or even on eBay, a brand new ETA 2836 movement goes for 250 quid. And that's without nothing in it, so it's just the movement itself. So I'm going to do a review on this watch, and I've partly started it, and to be honest, there is quite a few issues, such as the crown is way too small to wind. It's just irritating me, because I'm used to dive watches and they've got nice big chunky crowns, but this thing is horrendous to wind. It just, setting it's all right because you've got a bit more purchase once you pull it out, but other than that, and it does look actually, to be honest, all right, other than the Calvin Klein stamped all over it. The dial is very minimalist. That's the word, and it looks all right. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get a new case, and I'm looking at them now, and I think I found one which is in the style of an Omega case. And don't get me wrong, it will be a homage, but it'll be an upmarket homage with a decent movement in. So I'm going to get an Omega style Seamaster case, and I think they do like a variant of the ceramic, I think it's a ceramic dial Omega do, and I'm going to put that movement in it, and I'm going to have myself a cheap Seamaster homage, which, to be honest, to get one off a company with a different name is going to be getting 600-700 quid. With that movement and everything else, I'm going to be paying around about £150-200 for a decent spec watch, and that's why I've bought it. Not for the fact of the watch; I'll get a review out of it. However, I'm going to strip that for parts. I'm getting the movement out of that, and it's going to go into a dive style case, which is what I like. So that's why I've got it. That's why I went and actually shot myself in the foot twice. It was a gamble, because if that was wrong, I would have been out of pocket 60 quid for the charges there. The other thing is, if you're in the UK and you are going to shop with Jommer Shop, which I highly discourage, you can actually select an option on it for them to pay the customs before it gets into the country, so you don't have to deal with it. And it's actually cheaper, because I think it was $30, which works out at around about £24. So it's 8 quid cheaper than actually them getting it to you and then you paying the customs. Doesn't make sense, but yes, do that. That is my kind of top tip of the day. And I don't like Jommer Shop, but that's why I've got that. Anyway, let's have a look at the comments when I'm here. Boys, it's buffering bad. Yeah, sorry about that. Like I say, it might be the thing. Tell us if it does kind of catch up with itself. Like I say, and if like I say, it might be my feed with all the storms that's going on. Really interesting. I have to go. Okay, I've already read that. A question I've forgot to ask last time. The meat red dial you got, was it from Dial Maker, or do you have another source? No, the ones I use in my mods is from Dial Maker. And this is the other thing, just getting back on the dials. With the patterns, especially with Dial Maker, he'll send you pictures of each of the dial, and you get the pick. So to be honest, if I ever do, this is actually just offhand, that is one of the Dial Maker's blue meteorites personal watch, which I'm trying to sell to get some money back, but haven't sold it yet, obviously. But it means you can kind of pick the best kind of patternation on the dial, which obviously Zelos you can't. Like I say, nobody's fault with that one. I just dislike that Horizons 2 for the dial. It's just too bland. If I was going to get this again, obviously the prices has gone up, so I'm not going to get one. I would get the teal because I think the teal looks great, and that's the one I was going to get until I saw the blue meteorite version was coming. And yeah, like I say, I'm just a bit bummed. The watch is good. I'm just a bit bummed I don't like it. Personal thing. But yes, Dial Maker is the one that done. If you don't want to go direct to them, you can go to a company called WR Watches, who's like a Chinese company. They do like Helm Dollars, Proxima watches, and stuff like that. There's reseller, and you can get a Dial Maker dial from them. It's a lot easier because it's just put in a basket, get it sent to you. But I also have a few other sources for dials that aren't Dial Maker, but I kind of keep them close to my chest at the moment because I am having just going on a side note about modding. I've had two people recently ask for 4 itemized lists of their mod. One who I'm very miffed at actually because I spent a good 2 weeks putting the price lists together. This is where I'm getting the parts from there. And he came back to us and says, I've gone to somebody else in my country. He can do it for 60 quid cheaper, which I don't get why, because to be honest, the only money I put on is my labour, which any watcher mod, no matter what, you get labour, pressure testing and regulation for 110 quid, which to be honest, you'd be hard pushed to get if he's making money from it, but good on him. But I spent all that time putting it together because that's the way I do it. I like keeping people happy. And he's just gone with the list of parts I've got and went, here, can you do it cheaper? These are the parts he's using. And so from now on, I'm not actually going to be giving out itemized lists of me mods. I just can't. It's just not in my best interest to do all that time getting all this together for people, for them just to basically give it to somebody else for them not to do legwork. It's an absolute bit. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's against anything or something like that. It's just not right thing to do in my mind. It's not gentlemanly. It's not the British way. Oh, God, I don't sound too British, do I? I'm just like with my accent, I'm a bit of a, not common British, I'm not even going to get that way. Geordie was voted one of the sexiest accents in the world at one point. I will dare say so. I think it was in the top 3, actually. I think Irish beat us, which obviously we don't sound too dissimilar to most of the people in the world, but hey ho, that was another tangent I've got onto. Hey ho, let's have a look here. Jesus with I bought nothing from them since. Yeah, don't. I shouldn't do that, but I got, like I say, the customer service was good. It's like I went back to them after they said this is the other thing they said. They said I couldn't return the watch back because it was over 30 days from the actual sale on the website. And I said, well, I got it in 2 weeks, and then it took you 3 weeks to answer us back. So it's your fault I haven't sent it back because you didn't give us the return details. That's why I had to go through PayPal. It was a right jog on. Don't get me wrong. I know they're a grey market seller, but there's still customer service. And you could have just turned around and goes, look, because I can guarantee the watch I sent back now will get repaired at their end because the warranty they sell isn't a company warranty. It is their own warranty. So if you send a watch back to get repaired, it's through them. So I can guarantee the watch I've sent back will get given to another poor customer, and they won't have a foggiest that's been opened up and fixed. And that's just wrong in my mind. It is. But you could just take the movement out of it and sell the movement at a profit. That's my recommendation. Or used in a mod, like I say. Jesus, your government has taken theft of art from it. Yes, the British government is king of nicking other people's money. They take 20% of my wage. 20%? It might be more than that. 20% of my wages plus another certain percentage over a certain price point, and give it away. Like I say, I'm not going to lie. I do get a decent amount of money for is flawed. End of. And like I say, the working people, the working class people, are having to pay for the people up here, but also the people down here that can't actually be bothered to get a job. And it really does irritate us. But I like the country as the beauty of England. If you ever come to England and you go around moors and all that, there's beauty that, to be honest, no other country will have. Don't get me wrong, there's other countries that have beauty in other aspects, but Britain, as a small island in the middle of the ocean, has some amazing scenery and some amazing places to go. Scotland, Wales, like say where I am, Northeast England, you've got the Pennines. It's amazing. Biking roads are amazing. Hence, I need great roads for my bikes. Had that out the other day as well. Works a treat. Hadn't been started in 6 months. Got on it fine. It's also tax exempt and MOT exempt now because it's 40-year-old, so that saves us 50 quid a year. I've got on a tangent again, haven't I? I've gone away from watches. I've gone on to my other nice topic of motorbikes and cars. But anyway, let's have a look. That's why the colonies got rid of us. Sorry, Sledgehammer. Yes, no, it is true. It's okay. We're about to celebrate our National Rebellion Day in the week. Most cities near me have cancelled fireworks because of the bear flu. Beer flu. Hey, damn. Sorry, I'm reading the comments now. Oh, it's jumped. Hey, damn, he's out of stock. I have parts for the whole watch coming from Crystal Times, and all that's missing is the meteorite dial. He is the only meteorite dial he's got in stock at this moment in time is the the blued one, like the blue purpley one. The burnt, that's the name for it. I quite like it. That's what that one is down there. But a lot of people want the silver, the black, the more natural colours. So yeah, he is out of stock of them at the moment. But if you drop him a message, he does actually reply to you when they get stock in. He gives you a few pictures of what he has, so it is good to just keep in touch with him. I thought you were Irish until you corrected me. No, I'm not Irish. I do have Irish and Scottish blood in me. Somewhere down the line, quite a few generations back. Hence the red hair and the red beard. But no, I'm actually English from northeast England. I'm only, to be honest, I'm only like 50, 60 miles away from the Scottish border, so not that far at all. But yeah, the accent I speak in is classed as Geordie. Geordie twang, wee eye man, and all that sort of thing. But even then, I'm not born north of the Tyne, so I'm not technically a true Geordie. I just have a bit of the twang. I was born in Durham. I'm more the posh wren. But I say that though. I digress. Let's have a look. Protesting and rioting are okay, but celebrating of countries' independence is somehow dangerous, right? Well, you're spot on there. I'm not going to get into that debate because there's lots of things over here where I'm just going to say if you're going to protest equal rights, everybody has to be equal. However, it seems like the equal rights protesting thing is actually very, very one-sided at this moment in time. But it's positive discrimination. That's all I'm going to say. But hey ho, it seems like it's just good news at the end of the day. That's the thing. Except the accent through. I thought you the accent through. Yes, look. Yes, they don't normally does. I normally get called Irish. I don't really complain because Irish is a very, very nice accent. I will say. Yeah. Dave, let's have a. I don't think you're far behind declaring independence from your own government sleeve. Cheers for. Geez, you sound like a large chunk of a mountain, sir. I am impressed. Someday I have to get over to England and Europe if they'll let me in. I'll let you in. The UK lets everybody in. Through this virus, they've just decided to close the airports 2 weeks ago. Well, not close the airports, put everybody in 2-week quarantine. But yeah, the UK is twisted and weird, and yeah. But the people are nice. If you expect the more north you get, and this might be highly don't shout me down at this, but I've the furthest south I've lived is Sheffield, which is classed as a north, but it's not. It's more Midlands. It's not North England. We're the true north. But the further you go down south, the more, what shall we say, unfriendly people get, I find. The more north you get, the more friendly they get. Just as up here, everybody's like, yeah, come this way, that way. But that's changing nowadays. I think it's my generation. I hate my generation. They're just messing everything up. Anyway, let's have a look. UK is nice. We just fixed 3 weeks on a narrowboat in October as it was cancelled. Oh, narrowboat. That's one thing I want to do. I want a holiday on a narrowboat and just get around all the locks and not locks, but canals and everything of Britain. That'd be great. Nah, you shouldn't get into mountain problems. Everybody has their own problems. No need to go looking for other problems. That's right. Watches, lol. Yes, watches. Other thing. This is the other watch I picked up. This is another Pagani design. Yes, I know I've got a thing about Pagani design. However, this one came up. One, it's a skeleton, as you can see. I'll try and get a bit of picture here, but the light is absolutely atrocious when I go to the camera. It is a skeleton watch. It's in green. It's ticking a lot of boxes for me. It's also 28,800 beats per hour, and it's also 3 days power reserve, 70 hours of power reserve in this watch. And I got it for 90 quid. Now, Pagani design, however, the watch itself is good. It's got its own quirks, like the bezel is absolutely shocking. Listen. It's tinny as anything. It's got enough jump back. However, the one thing that got me about this watch when I got it, because it's basically just the older style 43mm case. That's basically what it is. and I was expecting the same quality, which this one isn't actually that bad. However, I went to size the bracelet. Now, all the rest of the Pagani design bracelets I've had have been screw. This one wasn't. I tried for a good minute to unscrew a push pin until I realised how thick it was and looked at it and thought, they've cheapened the bracelet down here because it's a push pin. I then tried to open the bracelet and actually took my nail off. I snapped my nail again. Twice in a week, I've snapped my nail. I sound like a right... God, I've said it again. I can't say what I was going to say because I'll be classed as something. In undefined person. I was a right undefined person and broke my nail a second time. Trying to get the actual bracelet done. Hence why it's on a leather strap at this moment in time, because I got that sick of trying to one size the bracelet, which I did in the end. Don't get me wrong, pins are a bit of a pain in the arse, but you can get them at the end of the day. But trying to open the clasp, I got it stuck on my wrist and I couldn't open the clasp. It was that hard to do. So I thought, right, that's knocking down. But the thing is, the movement in this is quite good. And like I say, it is quite a nice movement as well. And the specs-wise, it is close to Swiss standard. And on the timer graph, that's actually 3 seconds plus a day. And it's actually quite steady. Amplitude's good, beat error's good. And so I'm buying it for the head watch, basically the head of the watch, as some people call it. But hey ho, back to the comments there. Funny, more people selfie you go to America, the friendly people get. That's how you get. It's the opposite way around. But it's basically the same. Like I say, Britain turn it upside down. That's what you've got. That's it. Kyle Grimwood, Mr. Pagani. Oh, that's a name. Oh, I didn't think of that name. Yes, I've got Mr. Pagani, Mr. Helmdull, and Mr. Cheap. Like I say, in the last few weeks, I have debated because I would have one watch every 6 months. I want to be in that position, but one, like I say, nobody gives us free watches from companies. But like I say, I've got one coming in the next month, which is the Jarmian design one, which I'm going to keep the lid on until I get it, because I can't release any videos until the 7th of January. July. But I haven't got the watch yet, so I haven't done the review yet. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Pagani design, they make decent watches. Same with Helmdull. They're cheap, the good spec. They're better than Seiko's at this moment in time at the price point. That's going to be controversial as well. Hey ho. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's move down. Shift wheel. Right. Oh my God, people. They say it on Top Gear all the time. The old... Don't get started on Top Gear. Used to like it until they sacked the presenters. I am now... Was it... I forgot what you call it now. Oh, Grand Tour. That's the one. I like Jeremy Clarkson, James, and Richard. That's the one. The new presenters, I don't know. I just find... Supposedly it's better than they were, but I just don't find it anyway. But yeah. Anyway, so I think I've got over most of my rants for today, and like I say, I do apologise, and I'm not going to end it now. I'm going to stay on. I'm going to try maybe around about 10 past 10. I'm going to go because I've got a few things to finish off. But yeah, like I say, it's been ups and downs. It's been a busy week. I have got one watch that I thought I was really going to like, which I didn't. Like I say, and I'm going to try and flip that to get something else. I'm just trying to think what the one thing I'm trying to do with is trying to decide which Zelos to get. The Thrasher looks good, don't get me wrong, but I'm also quite sold on the Swordfish releases that are coming out, the smaller ones and stuff like that, but I don't think the smaller ones is a budget. Elshin's kind of put on the cheapest Zelos that's going to be released so far. And looking at them, I haven't seen a meteorite dial version. That's the one I would go for because I've just got a meteorite fetish at the moment. There might be because, to be honest, the meteorite dials seem to come out later. You'll get examples of the standard dials, as I would call them, first, release them, and then the meteorite comes later. But yes, it's one of those things. Let's have a look at the comments. Have to go now. I have to go pick up dinner for the family again. Quality stream, sir. I wish mine was... Yours is good. I am catching up in retrospect with your Celine Driver. Have a good food. Have a good dinner, I should say. And thanks for coming along, like I say. If you don't know Slane Driver, please go and subscribe to his channels. His live feed are good, to be honest. Don't listen to what he says. I'm just not on live at the moment in time because it's right in the middle of my tea time. How inconsiderate, sir. But yes, have a good evening, my good sir, and we shall talk soon enough, I can guarantee that. Rest of the comments. I agree, when they fired Clarkson and the other two quit, I stopped watching. The new crew just don't do it for me. Same with me, they just don't. The Clarks and the rest of them have got a rapport. They're friends. They meet outside of work. They've just got a good rapport against each other. I know a few nice people from Minnesota and a few arseholes from Texas. Exceptions. Well, there's always exceptions to the rule, isn't there? There always is. And like I say, it's been good. Like I say, it's just the few things that I've got is just like annoyed me. I need to get more money. I need to get, like I say, I've got overtime coming in from obviously my ship job, and I might have a bit of money to expend, but I have to then save up for the new house because I have to buy all the stuff to go in it. That's going to be fun for the next year and deal with all the mortgages and stuff. But there's a few things coming. I'm going to be blatant about this. There's also a few things going to be sold. Watch-wise, like I say, my Seiko Meteorite, which I built a few months ago for myself, that's going to have to go because I'm not wearing it. It's only been on the wrist twice. So that's going to get sold. The Horizon Monsters are going to go as well, which I didn't think would happen. One being, which I'm not a gold watch fan, and I picked this watch up quite as a not restoration project, but basically the guy I bought it off, it didn't work because obviously somebody had already kind of broken into it and nicked the rotor. There's a video on this as well that I did, and basically what it was he says, oh, it doesn't seem to auto wind, so I kind of shook it and I thought, oh, the rotor's stuck. It wasn't. It was because somebody had removed the rotor. So I've actually gone and got myself a original 436 rotor and put it in here. I think what happened, weights and just never got around to it. But all in all, that watch is absolutely great. It's even got an original Seiko strap to it. So that will be going up for sale. It even has, even though it has been run into it, I've got all the paperwork and boxes for that watch. But I just don't want, even though I'm not a black and gold fan, and I won't wear it, I just don't want to get rid of it because I like my Seiko Monsters. The one thing, however, on news front, Helm Dollar, as you all know, I like Helm Dollar, are going to be releasing in August a Helm Dollar Monster based on the Seiko Monster. And they've also said, because this is the one monster I wanted, but never wanted to pay like 700 quid for it, the Frost Monster, they're going to be doing a copy of. I'm going to be buying one of them. Seiko did Monster, and they're doing the Frost Monster, and I'm going to have that's going to be bite the hands off time with that, and I'm going to do a bit of comparisons and actually put the Seiko dials in, just for myself. Obviously, I wouldn't sell them on, but just to say, look, I've got Seiko Monster-ish watch that, which Zelos to get? All the Zeloses, sir. That's helpful. Mr. Slane Driver, that is very helpful. Because I would if I had the money. I have to sell some pieces too. I hate it, but earlier today I ordered a Sinew 50 at the AD, and I just couldn't resist. Do you know what? Sin is one watch I'm a bit in two parts with, because I want one. Part of me does want a Sin watch, but I don't know. There's something about them I just can't get sold on. Good quality, all that. But yeah, the U50 is a nice one though. If I was going to get one, just let's have a thing here. What would your next luxury watch be? And I say luxury in terms of what you class as luxury, not like some, oh, it's got to be 50 grand or something like that. Because this is the thing. Because I was thinking this the other day. Because at this moment in time, I've got 3 what I would class as luxury watches. To be honest, the Zeloses, the Horizons. To be honest, these are luxury standard at a decent price point. These like mid price point with a luxury standard. ETA movements, everything. These beat some of the old, to be honest, Tudors and stuff that had ETA movements in. They've got better ETA. They've got a better ETA I want next, because I've got a Breitling. I've got a Super Ocean Breitling Steelfish. I've got obviously the GMT Tudor, which has some problems, as you all know. I've got it back. There's a video coming up of my experiences with that and some eye-opening things. I haven't, if none of you have known, I'm going to be I got my Tudor back, but I got a anonymous letter from somebody who watches me videos who had experience with the Tudor. And basically what he'd done is, and I'm not going to basically, what shall I say, kind of say what he did was right. That's all I'm going to say. However, what he did has proven something in my eyes. He put his Tudor GMT in, he had it for 2 months, They didn't have a problem. He went to the actual AD and said, "My Tudor has got the date issue," because in his mind, he wanted somebody to check it up before it came about. And he thought, if I say this, they'll take it away, they'll come back and say there's no issue, we haven't had to do anything, it must have been a fluke. Anyway, he sent it away. It was away for, I think he said 2 months. And they came back and they had replaced multiple parts because they said they found the part had an issue. This is a watch, just to reiterate, and like I say, it's one of those things that he had sent in that the issue hadn't come about yet. The thing I own is the box that my Tudor Black Bay came back in, and they weren't even going to give us this. I was hoping for one of those nice pouches that they seem to be giving free away to everybody. But basically, he got the same as me. So he sent his watch away, which in all terms and purposes to him wasn't broken. He just wanted it to get, basically, he was being cheeky and wanted it to be checked out and get a free service. That's what he was doing. Like I say, I don't even know the guy. I just got it through an anonymous email. But like I say, for me, that's what my Tudor Black Bay was. And it says change of one component. And the guy actually turned around and said, mine, to ignore some of that, actually, I should read blank treat as that one. And they came back, replaced the part, and said it was faulty. And this is a watch that hadn't actually got the fault. So that says to me, the watches all have the fault. And Tudor know this, and they aren't checking the watches. And even if they are checking them, they're coming up with the fault and they're changing the part. So it's not the fact of they've got a certain batch that has this issue. It's the fact of all the Tudor Black Bears have got the issue. And I know people who have got brand new ones that are a month old that have, as in recently, because I keep getting a lot of comments back off that video. Actually, it's quite a good video of mine because, just making people aware. And there's a lot of people come to me and said, look, I bought this Tudor Black Bay. It's a month old from like, January, February, March this year. And it's basically got the date issue, which, again, for a watch that costs, nigh on $3,000, it's something you don't want. And Tudor are just burying the head in the sand, Tudor and Rolex, because it's a Rolex brand at the end of the day. And it just shows they don't really care about the customers. And like I say, the other thing that I kind of pointed out was when I talked to the AD and I pressed them at the point saying, look, does it have the date issue when I bought it? And they went, no, it doesn't. It's all been fixed. And then it came about and I said, look, when I came in, picked it up, I says, and I spoke to the Tudor guy that was in my Beaverbrook store there. And I says, look, mate, you're false advertising this because the problem is still there. And I'm getting people coming back to us saying it is. And he just says, we're at the mercy of Tudor. They say there isn't a problem. And I says, yes, but can you rightly sit there and actually say it to me as a customer paying a lot of money that you believe Tudor? And he turned around and goes, it's all we can believe. And I'm sitting there going, that's it. But anyway, I turned around and says, how many of these have you sold? And he kind of went, well, how many we get in? We've had around about, 50 in the store. Right. How many have you had back to get this done? He was a bit reluctant to start with, but I said, look, I know you had one because when I put it in, they said they had one in, they just got it back. It took around about 4 weeks to get it back because I asked, I don't want to wait like 3-4 months. And they said, no, we've just got one in. That's how long it took. And he showed us. So get this, out of the 50 watches they've sold, 10 of them have come back to get the date issue fixed. That is that is 20% of the watches, GMT, Tudors they sell have gone back for repair. That is an awfully high percentage of failure in a watch. I don't care what anybody says, that is too high. If that was a car manufacturer, they would be doing a full recall on that to fix that issue. And that is just not on. For what I've paid for that watch, I just can't do it. And like I say, I can't give it back either because it was at the birth of my second son. It's sentimental value. Even if I give it to them and they replace it with another GMT, that is not the GMT I had the birth of my second son. Dilemma. But yes, anyway, let's read the comments. Let's have a look. Tudor North Flag for me, it's just too big, but soon. Do you know what? If I was going to do it again, I would have bought the North Flag over the GMT. The North Flag is a beautiful watch. Lug's a bit weird because it's got the general central lug, which is a bit of a pain if you're getting aftermarket straps for. But in all honesty, with the luxury watches I've got, I normally keep the original strap on it because it just feels wrong with anything else. Sounds weird, but they do work together. It's like my Breitling. It's got the Breitling kind of cross-cut bracelet on, and it works so well with the watch. And I've tried it on an 8 and it just doesn't feel right. It just melds everything in. It's just, yeah, it's Yeah, it's really, really, really. Yeah, it matches all in. That's the sign of a quality watch when everything works. And getting back to the Z-Losses, the Horizons do that. You wear one of these and it just feels perfect. It really, really does. But anyway, let's have a look at the comments here. Please read before you broadcast, Kyle. If you choose folding watch box and Royal Mail delivery from Creation Watches, it comes duty free. Takes longer than DHL and costs about £6.50 for a single watch. Well, like I say, I've been a bit blinded, to be honest, because a lot of the time, especially Creation Watches, because I've been burnt by them, and some of my own stupidity. I bought a watch. It was a monster, actually. It's one of my Japanese variant watches, JDM monsters there, and I paid at the time 220 quid. I got stung for 60 quid, I think, VAT plus taxes. That was my own stupidity, my own ignorance. But like I say, it's one of the things. That's the other thing with Pagani design watches and these Chinese watches. They come into the country and they don't have any tax on them. Don't know how they get through it, but they don't. But that's another thing to kind of keep into account of. But yeah, yeah, it's one of those things. It's you take it as it comes. So it's a gamble. Sometimes you win, sometimes you fail, and I've just dropped my B in that. Also, I'm not advertising beer. Other beers are available. And to be honest, I bought this one out of mistake because I picked up the wrong one. It should have been San Miguel. A Moretti. I wouldn't mind a Moretti at the moment. Actually, I do like Moretti quite nice. But they're resting on their laurels and taking you for granted. They are. The thing is, like I say, and I know there's one guy who actually, and this is one surprising thing, especially the way the video was gone. I'm surprised I actually haven't been collared by Tudor. Because I know there's one guy that did a video a bit back on a Black Bay 58 where he was polishing issues. He was up in Scotland. He bought his watch in Edinburgh. But anyway, it came in, had quality issues on the finishing. Long story short, the AD said he sent it back to Tudor. He didn't. He just did an in-house polish. It was absolutely appalling. However, when he put the video up, Tudor contacted him and said, "Look, you have to take the video down until we investigate this because obviously we need to check it before you're putting all this out to see if it's true or not." With what I've said, they haven't. Which I think when they said it to him was because the fact of they didn't realise this and they said, "Look, there's an issue here because we haven't done it." With the videos I've done on the Tudor, I personally think it's factually correct because there is an issue and Tudor aren't letting up of it. But here, yeah, again, another thing I've learned, because that watch was an impulse buy as well. I went in for a Black Bay 58, that was in the window, and I came out with both watches. Hence why I didn't actually put a GMT on the waiting list at the same time, because I thought I either want GMT or a Black Bay 58. If I got both in hand, I'll buy both of them. So I thought, right, I just want the Black Bay 58. I'll have that in hand. I'll only have that. I'll go out with that. I had the GMT in hand. I went with both. And the wife, literally, I remember going because around the wife goes, "Look, I want you to come in, have a look at both watches and see which one actually suits us best." And she came in, looked at us and says, "You look like a lost dog. A lost puppy," as she put, and I goes, "I know, because I like both watches." And she turned around and goes, "Look, if you keep them good nick, can you sell them again for maybe not as much as you cost them for?" Now, actually, you could sell them as RRP because they're pretty much great nick. But I said, "Look, I won't lose money on them, put it that way, but I just want something to pass down to my children." And she goes, "Right, well, just buy both. You've got the savings there, and this is what you want." And I was like, "Oh God." I don't see money's as spent at my philosophy in life. If I buy something, it's got to make the same money back or more. So everything I buy and I keep it, I mainly don't sell it, it's only there if I need it, is stuff that I can sell for basically the same I've got it for. So basically it's like having your money in physical form. It's like having gold without actually going up in value. But that's the way I kind of treat objects. Like, even me motorbikes and stuff, like the B King out there, I paid £5,200 for it when I got it, but because they're a rare bike, they're just going up in value every day of the week. My classics are the same, I use them to get fun out of them, but it's free fun in my mind, even though I've spent the money. Might be a bit illogical to think like that, but that's the way I think of it. And that's the same with me watches. Most of the watches I get, and don't get me wrong, the Pagani design stuff, I'm not going to get my money back on that, if anything. But in all honesty, I can stick one of these up on eBay and I'll lose £20 maybe, because people will buy and bid on Pagani watches on eBay because they don't want to wait on Chinese post, even though it's quite good. And if I've had this watch for 6 months and I've worn it quite a lot, that's 20 quid well spent in my mind. You know, that is basically a quarter or a third of what you would pay on a decent night out to get a decent meal. And a lot of people, when they go out drinking, spend 100 quid at least. And, you know, but anyway, let's have a look at what we've got down here. They've got a blue bezel, same model, coming out in September. Stay away. The, is it? Have I read up correctly that they're bringing out a BB58 with a blue bezel and a blue dial? I think I've seen it, and I'm not really sold on it. I like the Black Bay 58 because it's very classic kind of theme. You know, the gold, the red, well, the gilt. But the blue one, I'm not sold on. Some people go crazy over it, because I think a lot of people said, look, we want a blue one, we want one like the Pelagos and stuff like that. You know, the blue Pelagos, which is another great watch, maybe a bit big for me, even though, to be honest, close to the Breitling Super Ocean. But yeah, that's one watch I think I would have if I was going to do it. But yeah, like I say, it's just one of those things where you kind of keep you what do you do? Like I say, I've got a watch. I've spent my money on it. Um, you know, it's got an issue. A lot of people with the GMT actually are just ignoring it, and they just kind of, if it does do it, they just flick it back a day, which, to be honest, might be the right way to think of it. But when you've got watches that cost like 60 quid and they've never had a date issue, my Vostok, the GMT Vostok, which has the poorest setting of date ever, has never missed a beat. Nor has any other watch in my collection done the same date issue thing. And then the £3 watch, which you spend money on to have a nice, perfect watch, has basically just gone down the drain quite quickly. It's one of them things. And I'm getting close to the end of my beer as well. I'm going to have to go at 1:15 as well because I have things to do before I get into bed. So I'm going to try and wrap it up here. But like I say, thanks for all you joining us. Like I say, it's been an absolute pleasure. We've had a great chat. And like I say, it's been a bit of a whirlwind tour with what's gone on over the last 2 weeks. And I'm going to try, like I say, get my bi-weekly live feed back up again. I can't promise anything though, because like I say, with all the house moving over the next year and all the work that's coming in, I might have to skip a week or two just to basically get things through. You know, it's paying money. You know, it's just one of those things. And you know, life comes first, your family comes first, and you know, YouTube does come second, third, and fourth. It's just the way it comes. But like I say, I will be trying in the next 2 weeks to put up another live feed. No doubt there'll be an update on the Horizons 2 meteorite, and like I say, I think I'm going to sell it. And if any of you know anybody that wants a blue meteorite Horizons 2, please tell them to get in touch with me. Because like I say, I'm not going to rip people off with that. I just want my money back with customs and stuff. And that's all I'm going to ask for it. And then put my money into another Zelos, no doubt. But yeah, it's one of those things, you know, you live and learn at the end of the day. But like I say, if you have liked this video, please like. And obviously, if you've just come along and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please also subscribe. There's going to be at least another 5 reviews coming through. And I've got it. You ask for, a lot of people asked about this case and if I would do a kind of a video on it. I will be, and I actually have done the video. I'm just waiting to upload it and try and find the right time to upload it. 32 quid for a case that fits 52 watches. It's a no-brainer for me. But anyway, all yous have a good night with everything that's going on. Keep safe. Do not do anything I wouldn't do. Don't do that, because I would do a lot of things that a lot of people wouldn't do. So do not heed that advice. And as always, everybody, like to say, Dave, Peter, Marcus, Sling Driver, when you were here, John, thanks for joining us. And like to say, it's been a pleasure. As always, mates, keep safe, and I will see you soon. Over and out. Now try to find the live end feed. There it is. See you later. Send? Yes, end. Don't know if it's ended or not. Has it ended? This is going to be amusing if it hasn't ended. It hasn't ended. Hello. Bye-bye.